This is a yoga flow for second, third trimester. I'm currently 31 weeks pregnant, so you could be doing this at any point in your pregnancy, really, but this practice is geared more towards the second and third trimester. For practice, you may need 2 blocks. If you happen to have a yoga bolster, bring that in. I'm sitting on that right now. You can also sit on a blanket or any other cushion that you have, or right onto your yoga mat. When you're ready, go ahead and settle into your seat. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Crown of the head extends to the sky. Shoulders draw back and down. You can keep your hands in your lap, or you can join me in Yoni Mudra. This is where we take the thumb and the pointer together, bring it to the navel center. You can also take your Yoni Mudra somewhere around the belly where you think baby may be centered. Once you're there, allow for your palms to gently rest against your belly. Begin to deepen your breath. We'll practice a breathing practice called Sama Vrtti. This is also called even breathing. It's a beautiful labor technique. It's also great for leading up to labor, to helping soothe the nervous system and calm anxiety. What I'm going to do is count the breath for 4 counts in and 4 counts out. You can do the same. If that's a bit much, you can always make the count smaller, 3 counts in, 3 counts out, or higher, 5 or 6. Wherever you are, just exhale out all the air you have now. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, filling belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, chest, ribs draw in, hugging sensation around baby as you exhale out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, expand. Exhale, chest, ribs draw in, hugging sensation around baby. Exhale out. And like this, take about 3 more at your very own pace. Beautiful. When you're ready, you can release the counting, but you keep your mudra. And maybe say something sweet to yourself and baby, expressing gratitude to your body and to baby for bringing us to our mat and allowing for us to practice today. And you can release your mudra. We're going to meet in tabletop. Wrists below shoulders, knees or hip distance. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Moving through cat and cow, tucking the toes as you inhale. Lengthen the belly, let belly drop to floor, chest lifts, hips high. As you exhale, tops of feet press. Curl the tailbone up and in, gazing into belly button. And like that, moving. When you're a little further along and baby's a little bigger, it might even feel good to take blocks underneath your hands. So we can continue to move through cat and cow with our blocks. Inhaling heartless, exhaling to round. And just gives us a little bit more space. So if that feels good for you, keep that up. And keep flowing with your breath here. And from here, we're going to separate the knees a little bit wider than hip distance and start to create big hip circles behind you. This is really nice for decompressing the low back, the SI joints. So you'll notice we're still moving through the planes of cat and cow, but more circular. You could imagine like there's a pencil at your pelvic floor and you're drawing big circles behind you. Keep your breath continuous. You might practice blowing air out of the mouth. Another laboring breath. Big, deep inhales through the nose. Long, slow exhales out of the mouth. Pause and reverse those circles going the other direction. Gonna do a couple more rounds. And from there, settle back into your tabletop. We're going to come into Thunderbolt Pose. So you'll tuck the toes, send the hips back towards the heels. From there, manually untuck the little toes. This is so good for our achy feet, helps blood flow, it helps to stretch the soles of the feet. We can keep that whole area open. If this is a bit much, you can always take a block underneath the knees, and that should take some pressure off. We're going to take this time to do a little bit of upper body work. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Catch hold of opposite elbow. Draw your pelvis slightly forward, tip of the tailbone down. Breathe in, elbow points to the sky. Breathe out, side bend to your right. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, side bend to your left. Good. Inhale, back up. Exhale to your right. Inhale to center. And exhale to your left. Beautiful. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release your hands to your sides. Draw your chin to your chest. We'll come out of this shape. Untuck your toes and do little taps. Good. And then coming back into tabletop. So once again, you could take your hands at blocks or keep the hands to the floor. Once you see what we're about to do, you may decide to do one or the other. And we're going to send the left leg up and back. Reach out through that left heel. Lift the upper body, so the chest towards the upper back, to stay nice and elevated through the chest and shoulders. Sweep your right arm up. Stretch from the right fingertips to the left heel. And from here, we're going to do some core work that's still accessible for us mamas. Inhale as you are. Exhale, tap toes and fingers to floor. Inhale, lift that leg up, arm up. Squeeze that glute. Exhale, little tap. Find your gaze. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, little tap. Good. 2 more. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, little tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Good. Inhale, lift. Hold for exhale. Breathe in for length. Breathe out. Release your right hand. Keep that left leg lifted. Send your right toe slightly behind you like a kickstand and open up for side plank. So you can have your left hand on your hip. Ground that left foot for now. Sweep your left hand to the sky and then up and overhead. Stretching through the whole side body. Create a little arc line, banana-like shape of the spine by sending the left ribcage upwards towards the sky as you reach your left fingertips up and over to the earth. Breathe into that. Good. From there, we'll float that left hand back up, float that left leg up, flex the toes, reach out through that left heel. Good. Find a gaze that feels okay for your neck. From here, we're going to bend that back heel, catch hold of the foot, draw the left heel into the bottom. So we're making this more of a quad stretch than a back bend, like we typically do in yoga. Because when we're pregnant, sometimes back bends don't really feel great for belly, and we can overstretch that area. You could still work on squeezing the shoulders onto the back and opening your heart towards the sky. Take another couple of breaths. Good. Let's let that left leg come long. Left hand high. Ground that left hand. Bring that left knee back in. Sitting back into hero's pose. So now the tops of the feet to the floor, and we're sitting onto the heels. You can always take a block between your heels here. Good. Pressing all 10 toenails into the floor. Let's take another shoulder stretch. The right arm is going to wrap underneath the left and intertwine at the wrist. Elbows in close or out and up to intensify eagle arms. On an inhale, send your elbow points to the sky. Look up, a cow shape of the spine. On an exhale, rounding the spine, draw your chin to your chest, elbows in towards baby. Just 2 more like that. Inhale, open. Exhale, round it in. Good. Inhale, a little arch, elbow points up. Exhale. Good. 1 more like that. And exhale. Inhale back to neutral. Unwrap your arms for goalpost. Spread the fingers wide. Take a little back bend. And exhale, release your hands to your sides. We'll do other side. Left arm wraps up and underneath the right. Inhale, elbow points up. Exhale, elbow points in. So the upper back can get really tight. We'll start to carry on that extra baby and lifting up that baby eventually. We'll start to cause some tension in the upper back. So doing this while we're pregnant can help to keep that space open preventatively. 2 more. Good, come back to neutral. Unwrap the arms. Inhale, broaden through the collarbones, lift through the chest. Exhale, relax your arms to your sides. Good, come on back into your tabletop. Knees are hip distance, spread those fingers wide. We're going to extend through the right leg, lift that left arm up. Good. Inhale here, exhale, tap, fingers to earth, toes to earth. Inhale, lift and squeeze that back glute and leg. Exhale, little tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, little tap. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, little tap. Inhale. Exhale, little tap. You got 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Good. Inhale, lift. Stay for exhale. Breathe in for length. Breathe out. Take your left hand down. Left toes to the left. Open up for modified side plank, other side. Let's ground that right foot for a moment. Sweep that right arm up and then up and overhead. Stretching from the right fingertips all the way to the right heel. Arc line that right side body. Send the right rib cage up to the sky and breathe into that space. Good. From here, let's bring those right fingertips back up to counter the lift of the right leg. Keep that right heel lined up with the right hip. Pull the right toes back to the knee and breathe. Okay, let's draw that right heel into the bottom. Catch hold of the right foot. Pull the right heel in to get that quad stretch. Squeezing the shoulders onto the back. Go ahead and open through the upper back as much as feels okay. And maybe you look up. Breathe into that. Good. Slowly release that right leg. Reach the right arm up. Ground your right hand. Ground your right knee. Let's come on into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes. Send the hips up and back. Working into the heel. Once we're in downward dog at this stage of pregnancy, it may start to feel better to separate the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Up to you. We're going to stay for about 4 breaths. You could be totally still here, or maybe you bend right leg, lengthen and press into left heel. Bending left leg, lengthen and press into right heel. Keep those outer upper arm bones wrapping in towards your heart and face. Head and neck relaxed. And sinking back into neutral downward facing dog, a soft bend to the knees. Start to tiptoe the feet towards the top of the mat. And so here, if you haven't already, is where you're going to separate your feet nice and wide, making space for baby. Once you arrive there, take your hands to your shins. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, briefly fold. Bend your knees. Take your fingertips down towards either side. Come into a chair squat. Sweep the fingertips forward and up, and we'll stand up from there. Inhale for length. Exhale. Take your hands to heart. Full breath, hands to the heart, or maybe one hand at heart, one at belly. Good. From here, step your legs nice and wide. Have all 10 toes facing forward for now. Turn your right toes forward and your left toes slightly in, bending into your right knee for warrior leg. Typically in warrior 2, we line up heel to arch. Once we get a little further along in pregnancy, you can line up right heel to left heel just to open the hips and create more space for baby. Draw that right knee in line with the right little toe. Take the fingers forward and back. Gaze over your front middle finger. Get on an inhale, straighten front leg, arms up overhead, lengthen. Exhale, bending into front knee, gaze over front middle finger. Dancing warrior, 3 more. Inhale, lengthen, you can look up. Exhale, bend front leg, gaze over front. Good, inhale and exhale. This pumping of the legs is really good to keep the lymph fluid moving. Settle back into your warrior 2. Good. Straightening front leg. Flip that right palm. Inhale, send it forward. Exhale into peaceful triangle. So the left hand slides on the back leg. Right arm reaches up and over. Stretch that side body. Inhale to your triangle prep. You can always shorten your stance in triangle if you feel wobbly at all. Up to you. Next, inhale, reach the fingertips all the way forward. Reach, reach, reach. When you can't anymore, right hand down, left hand to the sky. I love to use a block here at high level, especially now. So take what feels good to you. Gazing upwards. In our triangle pose, the left hip point works toward the left edge of the mat. Right hip works forward. Left rib cage scoops back. Right rib cage scoops forward. Opening there. Good. From here, start to bend that front leg. Make your way back to a brief warrior 2. Hands to your hips. Take your 10 toes to line up with each other for now. And then take the toes out, heels in. Bring your arms up overhead and then into goalpost arms. We're going to bend into goddess squat. Good. Take the knees back, pelvis forward, tip of the tailbone down. You can shift a little side to side into the feet. Good. Relax the shoulders. Breathe here. Close the eyes if that's okay for your balance. Tap into your inner resource. What supports you when things start to get a little tense? This is always good practice for contractions in labor. Maybe you blow air out of the mouth. Maybe you count the breath. Or maybe you do horse breath, blubbering the lips. Just a couple more. Good. Ground down through the legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, release your arms to your side. Let's turn those toes forward. Take your hands to your hips, breathing in. Breathing out, hinge from the hips to fold forward. Reach your hands to the floor or blocks. If you have your blocks or your hands, take them out long in front of you, almost like you're taking a downward facing dog shape, just to get that opening through the heart and chest, lengthening through the upper back, sending your hips up and back towards the sky as you balance your weight evenly between ball mat and heel. Head hangs. Good. Lift up just enough. You can use your blocks to walk your hands back in. Let's walk over to your front foot. Turn onto the ball mat of your back foot. Inhale. Exhale. Step that back foot forward. Bend into your legs. Hands to either side. Palms face forward in towards each other. Sweep it forward enough from your chair. Inhale. Exhale. One full breath here. Hand to belly, one to chest. Good. Take your hands to your hips. Step the legs out nice and long. Lining up, wrist to ankle. Release your hands at your sides for now. Turn your left toes forward, right toes in slightly. Bend into left leg, warrior two. Lining up heel or heel to arch. Your choice. Finger stretch forward and back. Relax the shoulders down and away in your warrior two. Good. Next, inhale, straighten front leg. Arms up overhead, palms in. Exhale, bending into front leg. Inhale, lengthen. You can look up if that's okay. Exhale, gaze over front middle finger. 3 more, your breath. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Settle into this warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Flip your left palm. Inhale, send it forward. Exhale, peaceful triangle up and back. And stretch that side body. Next, inhale back to triangle. You can shorten that stance if you feel wobbly at all. Reach your fingertips all the way forward and then down to the shin, inside or outside of left leg, or a block. Right hand reaches directly to the sky. You can always look up to the fingertip. Breathe. Right hip point draws to the right edge of the mat. Left hip draws forward. Right rib cage back. Left rib cage scoops forward. All right. Bend into that leg. Come back into warrior two. Then straighten that front leg. Turn the toes forward. Line your toes up at first. Then turn the toes out. Heels in. All right. We got this one more time. Reach your arms up. Bend them into goal pose. Your goddess squat. Sink low. Knees back. Hips forward. Breathe. Tap into your inner resource. Maybe eyes closed to really tune in. Maybe you gaze upon something, counting your breath, blowing air out of the mouth or blubbering out of the lips. You choose. What brings you a sense of presence? You can do this. Good, a couple more breaths. Ground down through those legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. It's over, you did it. Exhale, hands at your sides. Take your hands to your hips, draw your 10 toes forward. You can hinge forward from the hips just as we did, or interlace your hands behind you. Interlock the thumbs. Squeeze the shoulders onto the back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Hinge from the hips. Fold forward. Prasarita. Hands can stay at the low back, or they float up and overhead with arms mostly straight. Let your head and neck go. Breathe. We got about 3 more breaths here. Balancing your weight evenly between ball, mat, and heel. You might even rock between the two, forward and back. Good. We're going to softly bend the knees. Inhale, lift up just enough to release your hands to the low back. Bend the floor. Breathe in for length. Breathe out. Fold. Good. Walk your hands over to that front foot. Ball out of your back foot. Release your blocks or keep them at low level for downward dog if you'd like. Take a full breath more. Let's slowly release the knees to the floor. Briefly sit back to your heels. Shift your hips to one side. Swing the legs around. Coming into a seat. You're going to take Upavishta Konasana. Flex your toes towards you. Settle into your sitting bones and your pelvic floor. You can always prop up on a blanket. I'm going to have my blocks to either side of my legs. So we're going to start with side bends. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, take your left hand down to the block or the outside of the left leg. Reach your right arm up and over. So you can always come down onto your forearm if you're pretty open here, on the block or right to the ground. Good. I'm going to deepen it just a little bit in case you need it. Left elbow can go to the block or the ground, and left hand can support the head. Right hand comes up and over. Interlace your hands. Open up through the chest. Let your gaze go wherever it needs to here. Creating space in the side body, in the rib cage, in the transverse abdominals. One more breath. Good. Reach your right hand up, using your obliques and your side body to lift you back upright. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up and over. So again, you can come down into the forearm on the block or the ground. And take your time to see if it's okay to take the right elbow to the block, right hand to the head, and the left hand up and over. You can interlace your hands together. Draw that left elbow behind you to open through the chest. Keep your toes flexed here. That supports the inner thighs. Another breath. Good. Reach your left arm up. Use your side body. Inhale lifts you upright. Exhale, take your fingers down in front. From here, we're going to fold forward. You can walk your way in. Maybe staying upright is quite enough, and you just let your chin drop to your chest. I love to take blocks underneath the forearms here. Keeping those toes flexed to the knees. You can let your head hang. Maybe even bend your elbows at the earth or blocks and let your forehead be supported by your palm. But no straining here. When we're pregnant, we want to stretch to 70 to 80% tops, just because the joints are a little bit more open due to relaxin'. So no need to push yourself, especially now. One more breath. Good. Slowly walk your way back in. scoop up your hamstrings, draw the legs together. One more seated stretch here to open the hips, double pigeon. We'll start by bending the left leg, left shin parallel to the top of the mat. Take the right leg on top of the left. So your right ankle is on top of your left thigh. Right knee is above your left ankle. So that's the shape. If this is too deep, simply take the right shin in front of the left shin, and that could be how you fold and stretch. Scoot your seat, flex your toes. Let's take the hands to either side of you, pressing fingertips into the floor. Inhale for length. Relax the shoulders down and away. Exhale, settle in. So if you're sensing that this is enough of a hip stretch for you, you could stay right there. Or take your hands in front on the earth or on blocks and walk your way into a deeper fold. If you want to fold but belly is just getting bigger here and it does not feel good, you can create some open pocket space by going towards your left knee and walking towards the left knee. And just see if that feels okay. Relax your jaw, relax your face. One more breath. Good, lift up just enough. Walk your hands back in. Manually release that right leg. You can straighten the legs out just for a moment. Maybe roll your ankles in one direction. And then switch. And let's go to the other side. Either your left shin is in front of your right shin or coming to double pigeon where the right shin is parallel to the top of the mat. Left ankle on top of right knee. Okay, settle in. Flex your toes. Take your hands to either side. Lengthen through the spine. Relax the shoulders. Take a full breath here. Again, if that's quite enough, you'll stay and breathe. Otherwise, you can bring your hands in front, walk your hands out long, and you can let your head hang. Or to create a little bit more space, a little pocket of space, you can walk your hands towards your right knee. Good. Slowly lift up enough to walk your hands back in. Manually release the legs. Take them out in front, feet wide, hands behind you. Inhale, lift your chest. Keep that lift as you exhale, knees stagger to the left. Next inhale to center. Next exhale, knees stagger to the right. And just one more to each side. Inhale, exhale to left. Inhale up to center. And exhale to right. Come back up to center. Setting yourself up for Shavasana. If you're still comfortable lying on your back, I still suggest an incline of some kind, so either with the blocks or with the cushion or bolster. Otherwise, I'm going to set up side lying on the left side. That's what's recommended during pregnancy, as the vagus nerve is on the right side. So when it's compressed, it can cause trouble breathing, and we'll just know that it's not quite right to lie on right, and it's time to lay on left if you feel like you have shortness of breath there. So I'm going to grab a bolster. You can take a prop as well if you have one. I'm going to bring it between my legs. Slowly making your way onto your left side. Maybe you could use the top of the left arm like a pillow. Right hand can hold baby or rest in front. We'll just be here soaking up your practice. If you have the time, you can pause this video and stay for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, slowly using your top hand, press yourself on up. Maybe you take that bolster back again behind you for your seat, sitting. We'll seal off with that yoni mudra. Pointer connects, thumb connects, upside down triangle at the center of baby. Just coming full circle here in reflection of how it feels to sit here now, reconnected with your baby once again. Thanking yourself for showing up and thanking baby for choosing you. We'll bring our hands together for namaste hands. Thanks so much for your practice. Namaste.